Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Fadia. In this video, I am going to review a journal article. The title is Analysis on the Constructions of the Inner Conflicts of Characters in Script Writing, and the author is Zaining Wang. This is an academic journal of humanities and social sciences and is published in 2019. This is the volume number 2 from issue number 5, page 12 to 15. Conflict has been employed as noun. The exterior conflicts of the characters are those between individuals and between humans and the environment. The conflicts within the characters form the inner conflict, which serves as entry point and destination for the external conflicts. It also emphasizes the personalities of characters. The first aspect of the script is to consider how to generate the conflicts of the characters in the story development. Through the analysis of the inner conflicts of the character in the story creation, this paper studies and summarizes how the inner conflicts of the characters are created and the inner mechanism of inner conflicts and explore how they construct and depict inner conflicts of the characters in a visual performance level and also the sound performance level. In the context of modern psychology, the creation of film stories present a large number of people's conflict in a world and strong inner conflicts caused by multiple human personality. The classic characters in modern movies often have complex and even multiplicity personality. We try to restore the characters' emotions with complex personality in the story because in life we often find that people's appearance is often inconsistent with their inner, and the people with complex personality tend to display the false image they create by themselves in public. When the individual is alone, now that you can see it is their true face of a person, but such situation is commonplace. But moving to the complex aspect of the characters into a story requires us to grasp the mechanism of the inner conflicts of the characters and how to express the inner conflicts. Like in 1960, Hitchcock portrayed a classic multi-personal image in the movie The Physic. Um, in another classic film, Fight Club, director David Finch and the screenwriter directly transformed the two characters of one role into two different roles to show the inner conflicts. The transition mode of War Fighting Club is still used by many movies based on the multiple personality of the character as their base story logic, creating multiple roles to play different sides of the person with very special out of the art. The confrontation between emotion and reason does not involve right or wrong. In the emotional thinking in the rational thinking have different standards and norms. The inner conflicts of emotion and reason are often used in love literature and literary stories. Almost every love story encounters emotional and intellectual entanglement. For example, in the movie Let Autumn, a seemingly impossible but figures love that the male and the female protagonists develop with great contrast and completely different experiences in a few days, which is entangled constantly in emotion and reason. In addition, the conflict between emotion and reason is not only used in love stories, but like in the movie Hero, after killing the name of the Qin Shi Huang, the killer wants to avenge for his many dead friends, but rationally he chooses to give up. Such a rich inner conflict makes the imagination of the role a full three-dimensional moments, and the depth of the story is getting deeper. The inner conflicts of the characters is not to let the protagonist silently bear the pain of self-confidence, but to express the inner suffering and contradiction of the protagonist through visual or auditory means. The story of the film, which is left away from the audience, is meaningless. The inner conflicts is the only success of the stories when it is showed in front of the audience. Otherwise, it won't work when the protagonist silently accepts, but the audience does not know why because the content should be expressed in the work which has no place to be placed. In the screenplay, sound is divided into language, music, and sound effects. Language refers to the dialogue, monologue, narration in the movie story. The inner conflicts is the invisible information inherent in the character. The most direct expression of inner conflicts is to use the inner monologue, like what Neil Kidd said in the core skills of screenwriters. He states that the real conflict is deep in the heart, that is, non-imaginable. Neil's point of view tends to be deeper internal conflicts. In the human subconscious mind's world, direct expression with image will not touch the clue, and it is difficult to symbolize, as the internal psychological entanglement of the characters. Inner conflicts are more easily displayed in a way that is monologue or narration. This is also the functions of inner monologue in many movie stories, like in Wang Jiawei's film Chongqing Forest, Fei Zhenzuan, Eiffel Toxics, a large number use characters' inner monologues, present the inner contradictions of the characters directly and, of course, straightforwardly, coupled with the lens of Du Feng's aestheticism, which gives the audience an experience of the sudden, lonely, advanced, and for sure indifferent feeling of beauty. In addition to the monologue and narration of language, the external expression of inner conflicts can also use music and sound effects. The function of music in film and television is very obvious. On the basis on the basis of visual effects and hearing, the combination of music and visual effects brings shock to the audience because sound effects exist as an extremely important sounds element in the art of film and television. The sound effect can express the acoustic effect of the persons in a film, such as the roar of the subway, the sound of the whistling sound, etc., which can bring the audience into the inner world of the character, immersively feeling the inner state of the character at that time. In addition to appealing to the performance of sound, inner conflicts can be presented in a more cinematic and visual way. Like inner conflicts can be expressed to the hero's external action event. The event setting in the story does not have to organize the structure according to this strict logic, but it can stop the flood of narrative and at the necessary moment break the strict logic and let the arrangement of the event return to the inside of the characters to find. For example, in the movie Into the Master, the film interprets with the hero's own piano piece several times. There is no narrative content in this, just a simple expression of the actions and music of hero's cello, but it is very important in the whole story because the buffering effect, the scene of the violin fully fans the emotion of the protagonist, and the inner conflicts of the human's being are visualized. The creation of the inner conflicts of the characters is an important as external conflicts of the characters in the story creation because the characters with inner conflicts often have complex personalities and are entangled in emotion and rationality. In the story, the expression of inner conflicts can use the method of sound expression and the visual image representation. It can't leave the inner conflict just to stay in the inner part of the character. The success of a person's inner conflict is that the audience feel the inner contradictions of the characters and the encounter of the sympathetic person who can and is in the place. And that brings us to the end of my presentations. I hope you get a better understanding for the journal article based on my journal article review. Thank you for watching.